Let me start my presentation. Before beginning, let me apologize for my poor English talking skill. I'm glad to present my paper to you today. I'm Sangwoo Park, Yonsei University, South Korea, PhD course student in Yonsei University. Today, my presentation is about the privacy in Internet of Things. So it might be unfamiliar to you. This is our contents. First, in introduction, these IoT applications and privacy matters are introduced. So in IoT applications, healthcare, smart home, and other tools, smart city, or other various applications are here. And in the IoT applications, the privacy is more important than the traditional applications because in IoT, the data, for example, the healthcare data is more private than the data of a computer. So the IoT application privacy is more important, and researchers are conduct research in this area. For example, one of the most subject in the IoT privacy is the privacy from service provider. For example, you may want to local information from the Google, but Google can gather your information, very private information. But how about if you can gain your information from Google without leakage your private information? Homomorphic encryption can do that. When you use homomorphic encryption, your informations are encrypted with this, like that, and Google can't open the encrypted data, but the final result can be decrypted in your device, and you can gather the information you want from the Google. So the service provide preservation of user's identity from the service provider. It is similar to our study. The service This is our contributions. We newly propose a privacy preserving anonymization method called enhanced blind peer approach. And our method resolves some intrinsic problem like trajectory attack. It will be more detailedly introduced in the next section. We newly propose the concept of blind peer selection, and we analyze our scheme in privacy factors. So in here, I introduced the problem of the service provider, and in this section, we separate the 4 trust parts: trust of service provider, trusted of third party, trusted of peer, and without trust. It called trust free. First, trust free. You don't have any trust of the 3 parts: service provider, trust the third party, or peer. And so this is the most powerful in here. But actually, all some easy and simple and old methods are here. In anonymity, service provider can't open your private information because you don't use your identity. Actually, you use your anonymous ID to service provider. But this is a too simple and easy way. Service provider, if the service provider can have a little more power, then service provider can easily trace the location or your private information and reconnect with a new nickname. And next is the trusted service provider. It is maybe the most private methods are here. For example, data encryption, access control. You only use the trusted service provider manner. So if you use data encryption, other entities can open your private information, but service provider has the key of your data. So service provider can open the data, encrypted data. Third party is actually similar with the service provider. And the trusted peer also similar with service provider, trusted third party. This trusted manner, we see the blind peer approach. The main idea of the blind peer approach is simple. User sends the private data to another peer with some encrypted information, and this blinded third party only forwards the messages to service provider, and this process, original user identity is changed to the identity of blind third party's identity. The service provider may know that the information is from blinded third party, but actually this information is for user device. So your identity and information is separated, and your privacy is preserved. If you change the blind third party to blind peer, then the blind peer approach is okay, but here still has some problems. BTP and BLP are the early stage, so detailed procedure is required. And next, there's no selection policy. And BTP, BLP are still vulnerable to trajectory attack. This is the most important part. What is a trajectory attack is that if you are the service provider, and here A is the user, B is the blind third party or blind peer. Your identity from the area of the this line changes to B's identity here, like that. So identity is changed here. But if the service provider can keep track of the A's information, private data, then the information, if you change the identity here, but service provider can actually trajectory attack to here. So A's identity is revealed to service provider. That's the trajectory attack. So BTP and BLP has vulnerable intrinsic problem, this trajectory attack. So we will resolve the trajectory attack issue. This is what our proposed scheme. Name is the enhanced blind peer approach. And here we select the blind peer in feasible moving area. Feasible moving area means in the trajectory attack, service provider can track the user's information, and the information change from here to here is very significant. So service provider can detect this movement of the identity. So our concept is if the distance from A and B is actually feasible, service provider can't detect the change of the identity of the A and B. So if the feasible moving area and the A, B, C choose the blind peer each other like that, then how it actually acts? B trace like that, A move like that, C move like that, and then the identities are changes to here. So in service providers aspect, they confuse the trace of the A, B, C like that. That's the key idea of the feasible moving area. And this is the detailed steps. And this is the detailed procedure. And so that is also key point that we separate the this approach to the two pace. First is the blind peer selection pace, because we actually newly proposed the feasible moving area and the blind peer selection. So this is for that pace. And then next is the masquerading pace. In here, original blind peer approach is conducted here. So masquerading pace is a detailed masquerading pages is here. And this is the procedure. Next is analysis. Resilience for privacy attack, we will some attacks, and resilience for privacy attack. In this table, we can see that our enhanced blind peer approach is very safe to all the privacy attacks. Here, these two these two methods are need more trusting for third party or service provider, and extremely complex calculation. Next analysis is for overhead. This is for the number of queries for the input and size. And EBLP has actually needs more queries, but it is the trade-off of this resilience for privacy attacks. In the future, we provide some specialized protocols for specific IoT service. For example, health applications or smart city. We also plan to analyze our enhanced blind peer approach efficiently works, and the specifically designed feasible moving area. Thank you.